Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is going to be Calgary Flames' worst three jerseys. John and Trems, take it away.
Remember when we decided to go to Calgary in early March for a hockey game?
The only better decision than that was going to Edmonton right after.
It was, and I remember the conversation. The woman at the car rental place said, "Can I get you snow tires?" No, I'm not an idiot. Don't upcharge me on snow tires. Wow, what a stupid idea that was. No wonder she looked at me like I was a clown.
It snowed 20 centimeters, and as an American, I still have no idea how much that is. But it was a fun time. Love that town. Would go back in a heartbeat.
We drove over that snow that one morning. We set the precedent for that entire day. Like, there are no plows in Calgary. You mat it down and you move forward with your day. That being said, the shoulder patch on here, never seen that before.
It's not
that.
anywhere else.
I love that look.
It's the only time they've used it is this third jersey.
Could be a primary.
Which, that's I don't know about that, but it is a good secondary, very Albertan of them.
Oh, like a third jersey, maybe.
Right, and then this is, like, the design of the shoulder is actually meant to be one of the cowboy shirts. Like, that's why it has a little bit of an angle to it.
Nice.
And then, yes, this lace-up is correct with how they intended it, though the players would flip it. They were trying for a whole Calgary Stampede thing that never really caught on.
No.
But great town, lovely poutine, loved the Caesars the entire time.
Ugh, that's where we drove. We're gonna stop right there. Worst. Speaking of Caesars, worst jerseys.
Speaking of the Calgary Stampede,
a lot of hearts with this one.
I mean, look, in a vacuum, it's not that bad of a look. The design of the jersey is excellent, and if these logos were swapped, it probably would be one of our best ever, if we're being honest.
Could be.
But we're in it. When did they wear these, Phil?
They wore these between 1998 and 2006.
So it went from third jersey to home jersey. I think it might have been some third jersey at the very end.
Yep.
But I mean, look, we're in the golden age of cartoon angry mascots. And Calgary leaned into it.
That about sums it up right there.
And Blasty Horse, as he is known, it just is so cartoonishly late 90s.
Yeah.
Gritty, but animated.
But like you've said repeatedly throughout these worst jersey series, is that worth throwing back now, and throwbacks are so nostalgic that this has come back and is very, very well revered.
And arguably worse, because it's just the two stripes at the bottom. It doesn't actually fill out. Like, it's just some empty stripes. But yeah, I nostalgia clouds many things. This isn't. Look, the jersey design isn't terrible, but the overall look and certainly Blasty Horse is not good.
No, I think you make a fine point. You swap their Flames logo, put it on here, put on a black jersey. Like, you've got something there.
I have this thought I keep rolling around of, like, okay, reverse retro is going to be dead, which, okay, it's played its role.
Yeah,
it's done a thing.
Yeah.
You do the NHL updates and fixes series, where you do things like that, where swap these logos, and that's your jersey rollout. Like, okay, we took an idea from the past that was not half baked, or at least didn't hold up.
Yeah.
How do we make it so it's good now? And I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
The pedestal jersey in one of our other videos, you remove that pedestal. That's a fantastic jersey.
It's simple and clean.
Right. Yep. Same ideas, just the update series. Yep. Like, that's my concept thought. But yeah, angry mascots.
Not the worst though.
Oh, by no means.
DJ Brody.
The first Reebok Edge jersey. You got piping. You've got vertical stripes leading into the horizontal stripes. Like, it's all over the place. Every bumper sticker they could put, and then they're like patriotic Canadiana. Which, okay, this works, but
don't forget your provincial flag, kids.
Alberta flag in there.
Here's your giant blue patch on the shoulder.
Right, there's nothing wrong with the Alberta flag, but, like, it's blue when the entire color scheme is the opposite.
This was like the precursor. Like, should we put an advertisement on there that has nothing to do with it?
Maybe Alberta tourism.
That was part of my first set of jerseys I bought, kind of.
Okay.
It was like my first.
Started it.
Not really the start. So I had a couple Penguins before, but that one was when I first started my collection. Really starting. This was it.
Let's compare this shoulder patch, which is very Alberta, and the Alberta flag, because I think you get the same idea. Like, just in a quick look at that. Let's see how well Jersey Cam can do.
Do it, Jersey Cam. Do it. Oh, nice.
So, look, you got the wheat at the bottom. You have mountains. You lose the English flag, which I'm sure half of Canada is okay with losing.
Sure.
But, like, look how much better this does of encapsulating the idea of Alberta. than this flag does.
Mhm.
Like this, that's how you do a proper upgrade. In okay, we want the symbolism, but we don't need the rest.
I also feel like that one has more of of a native kind of feel to it too, where they
Yeah, there
do
could be some
celebrate.
First Nations
They
things
do
going on
right.
there.
They celebrate that a lot, and I feel like that kind of incorporates that a little bit.
When
Oh,
did
but-
they wear these, Phil?
They wore these ones from 2007 to 2016,
Ooh,
and
that's a
then
long time.
under Adidas for 2 more years, 2016 to
It's a
2018.
long time.
Yeah, way too long for this ridiculous design. Just it's just like there's way too much going on. For once, Reebok did too much
Yeah.
and needed to go simple. Where most of their jerseys of this era were as simple as possible, and Calgary just would not budge off of these.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
because they've looked better.
but it's not the worst somehow.
Oh man,
But how many of you remember this jersey?
I'm loving it.
No one else was. Phil, when's this from?
This was once the Heritage Classic from 2011.
When they played Montreal in Calgary, if I'm not mistaken. The Stampedes Stadium.
And this is when, if I recall correctly, they had taken like an
Rough
8-year.
Riders?
No, they had taken almost a 10-year hiatus from the Heritage Classic because they did it back in 2002, I think, with Edmonton and Montreal.
04.
04?
It was right before the lockout. Right before the lockout.
But they came. This was the first one back, I think, and they didn't do well at all.
No. So there is a reason for this. They didn't just let's make this an old jersey. The Calgary Tigers were a Western Hockey League team or Pacific Coast Hockey League. Look, we're going far enough back where I'm a bit fuzzy. I would have had to look this up. And instead of red and gold, it was black and gold. And that's pretty much the sweater was exactly this, but black instead of red. And a tiger logo.
How? What years was this?
24, 25, give or take.
That is on par for that time.
Right. It is very much of an era.
Yeah.
But
not.
And Calgary did a good job of translating that jersey. But what they forget is that there are things. Definitions of things change. Symbols of the 20s versus symbols now. There's 1,000 examples that I don't want to get demonetized from coming up with. The symbolisms of things change. And seeing red and gold like this in many stripes, what's the first thing you think? McDonald's.
Yeah.
And so looking at this, everyone's going McDonald's, or most generously ketchup and mustard because it is a darker red.
Yeah.
That to my knowledge, they never wore this again at all. And I don't know of any other one-off games where they truly never again.
If it's and they started to do that later on in the teens. That Chicago had that all black Winter Classic jersey, and then they wore it the next season for a couple
or
games
it pops up a couple games because they made them. They have them. Like take off the patch and wear them again, and that's easy enough for equipment managers.
But we've talked about this before, that something back from this time period, like nobody in 2011 is going to be like, oh yeah, the Calgary, help me out again,
Tigers.
The Calgary Tigers, yeah, of course, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're almost 100 years removed from the last time anybody's seen a Tigers jersey.
You got to sell the crap out of that messaging, and they failed to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, this was, and we were just getting back to 2011, so the outdoor games had just started again in 2008, so they were just getting back to this whole outdoor one-off special event type series, and yeah, I honestly think
the fact that it's forgotten makes it even worse. Like it happened and then it never showed up again.
It's taken years for you to find one.
Yeah, I just found one. We recorded this one and like everything about it was technically awful. So we're doing this a second time.
Yeah.
And this was a slide the first time we recorded this. Like I just found one and it was more than I would have liked to pay, but it's certainly better than a lot of like current retail jerseys are.
It's
so
felt.
I think the only Flames crest that is felted, to my knowledge.
You let me know when you want that customized. We'll send it away.
I will. I'm just going to find out who on that list. So, with that, our worst of...
Look at that diversity.
Yeah, for once, it is a very diverse list, very different reasons. So, you tell us, what do you think? That's what the comments are for. He's Shrems. I'm John Phil. Take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in for another episode of Ugly Thirds.